and we started working, and we met. I don't know exactly where it was. It was like a shared office space, and you were describing to me the model of the service delivery, and you were drawing it on the whiteboard, and you said, what we do is we have pods and we have teams. And in my head, I'm like, dude, there's 4 people that work here. The teams you're talking about, right? We have one team, and we're all here right now. But to see it now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to see you spoke it like it already had happened.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, we have 9 teams, 9 or 10 teams. But at the time, I was just like, dude, this guy's kind of crazy because there's nobody else here.
Yeah, it's just us.
No, that's a good point, because that's something that I picked up on as well. Anytime I would talk to them, is that they would always talk about the company in terms of like what it would be if it was 10 or 20, 30 times bigger
than what it was. Yeah.
And actually that workspace at Co-Merge just down the street from here.
Co-Merge, that's right.
Ephraim and I were there one time, and I asked him, like, what's the goal? How big do you want this company to get? And we happened to be walking by like the biggest conference room that they had there, and he said, my goal or my dream is to fill up a room like this with engineers to train.
Yeah, wow.
And then looking at it now, the engineers that we have wouldn't even fit in that room.
Wouldn't even fit in that room, yeah.
And it was a pretty good sized room, right? And it's just crazy to think, like, if even at our previous office building, if all of the employees at Fit were to come into that office, the parking lot wouldn't be able to.
There's no way. Yeah, there's no way.
So I had worked. So part of that was, it's funny because I didn't really have a lot of mentoring at that time, like I do now. I was like more figuring it out. But when I worked at this other MSP, they had gotten to 5 million, so they had like 20 something people, and so they were a little more established. Had an accounting person or 2 people. Then they had like their account management, sales, engineering, help. They had like kind of the base pieces. So in my mind, like I was just on autopilot to build that, and then we got that, and then I was like, oh man, now what? But then I was also in a position, I was like, okay, well, we got to go more, because if we stop now, then there's not a whole lot of opportunity for people
to keep going.
Yeah, right. So then it's like, okay, it's not just, I don't know, it's still tough. If you're 5 million, it's still tough in this industry, in this space, because it's not. Yeah, and so, and then it wasn't much growth opportunity for the 20 some people you have. Like, okay, we gotta go more.
Yeah, you can't promote up really that way. Yeah. Remind me though, David, because I felt when I met you guys, I could see, I was like, all right, listen, I was actually leaving the East Coast, right? So I was kind of starting my whole life over. I only had a few dollars in my pocket, and I said, okay, I'm going to take a chance on this team, which seems very small, and I had no idea how it was going to work. But I remember you telling me when you started, you didn't even want to cash your paycheck.
Yeah, tell that story. You don't have a paycheck? You have a paycheck you haven't cashed yet?
I do. I think I have a
couple. How many years old is that?
It's over 10 years old now.
You can still cash it.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't know if we have that bank account anymore.
We might get in trouble with
somebody's going to get
employment labor laws here in this podcast.
Yeah, so I mean, I was still young, so I was still figuring out how the world works and taxes and IRS and everything. And so in my mind, I thought to myself, like, if I don't cash it, they, as in the government, they'll never know that I had this money, right? So that way I didn't have to pay taxes on it. And my belief in Fit was really so low that I thought, like, hey, if and when this goes south, I don't have to like report this money or whatever, right? Yeah. It's like, so I'll just like keep it on paper, right? So I was subcontracting with them or with us with Fit. And Joel would send the checks, and I would get them. It's like, cool, like it was fun, but yeah, I'll just keep this here, right? But then they just kept coming.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, there's something to this.
Every
right?
2 weeks, I'm getting paid. What is this about? Like, what's going on here? No, that's funny,
Yeah.
man. That's funny. I thought in the beginning, like very early on, once we started working, maybe 2 months in, my wife wasn't working, and I kind of went, like these guys, but it's small. And I was like, it feels like a house of cards. Mm-hmm. At any given moment, I feel like this could all, like, fall apart.
Yeah.
This is how I felt, right? I was like, so I need to save up just in case. So I remember at that time we started earnestly like, okay, we're going to hang in there, but let's try to save money just in case. But I would say within a year from that moment, things really started taking off.
Yeah. And
I was like, dude, I don't know what this guy's doing, but he's doing something. He's got something, you know what I mean? Like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but I was like, they're figuring it out. And that fear, that kind of like that thought process kind of just, it left me, I was like, all right, I'm a believer. Like, this thing is rolling.